Picture this, Sony, one of the biggest names in gaming, tries to come in and ruin your fun by making unnecessary changes to Helldivers 2. Now most would roll over, but Helldivers 2 players are known for spreading democracy, so that wasn't the case here. They fought back, and they fought back hard. And that's exactly what the NBA 2K, Madden, and FIFA communities need to do. Helldivers 2 was the hottest game out there, but Sony tried to pull some slick stuff and force everyone to link their PSN accounts. The community didn't approve for a multitude of reasons, thus they review bombed the game into oblivion. Sony thought they could just roll up and change the game, but the Helldivers community showed that democracy is what matters most. And that's the lesson for all you NBA 2K players out there. If we don't stand up and speak out, 2K is gonna keep abusing their consumers. The power is in our hands, just like it was for our Helldiving brothers. I just need y'all to realize that you need to get up! So let's break down this situation for those of you who may not be in the know. Sony is the publisher of Helldivers 2, and recently they attempted to force Helldivers 2 players on PC into linking a PlayStation account to their Steam account. The community wasn't fond of this because it caused many issues. See, Sony said your game would stop working after their grace period ended to link your PC to a PSN account. Now imagine paying $70 and enjoying your game for months with no problems, to only be told your game is gonna stop working if you don't link a PSN account to your Steam account. For those who don't game on PC, you have to understand many gamers on PC don't have PSN accounts. Not to mention, PSN isn't available in every region that Steam is. This meant that many PC gamers were being locked out of their game simply because their region doesn't have PSN. Plus, there were some serious security concerns. Sony's had many data breaches in the past, and folks weren't trying to risk their info getting leaked online just to play a video game, and I think that's a fair concern. Many speculate that Sony did this because they wanted to inflate their active monthly PSN users. And this is because inflated player counts looks good to investors. It's just a shame that they tried to do this at the expense of the user experience. I think they could have got away with it if the game launched this way, but they waited several months after launch when things were already running smoothly and people who don't have access to PSN already own the game. What would follow is a bombshell to hit social media. The Helldivers community showed up to prove they aren't just interested in spreading democracy in the game, but also the real world. They started to review bomb Helldivers 2's Steam page like their life depended on it. In the first 24 hours, you had over 15,000 negative reviews pouring in, straight up dragging Sony through the mud like. It also didn't help that the developers behind the game weren't fans of the move either. Many of the Helldivers 2 developers were spotted on social media backing up the community's poor sentiment towards these changes. This was strictly a move being pushed by the suits over at Sony, and the community made themselves loud and clear. They said, "We're not gonna take it." But here's the crazy part. Sony actually listened. They saw the backlash, they felt the heat, and they decided to walk back the idea of forcing PC players to make a PSN account just to play Helldivers 2. I'd imagine once they found out 60% of the player base is on PC, not PS5, they started to panic. And that's the power of a united community. When a store page has nothing but negative reviews, it affects the game's ability to make future sales. You have to keep in mind, not everyone reads gaming news sites or watches videos like this. Most people hear about something via word of mouth, they check out the store, and then they go from there. If the store page is nothing but negative reviews, that's gonna stop some people from spending money. And when you affect their bottom line, that's when the big wigs start to fold. And that, my friends, is why this saga is so important. It's a testament to the power of the consumer and a lesson for all others looking from the outside in. So the burning question is, well, what can the NBA 2K community learn from all this? Well, I'm glad you asked. 2K has been doing us dirty for years with their excessive implementation of microtransactions. They are steady trying to nickel and dime us every turn, making the game feel more like a casino than a basketball sim. And it all started with NBA 2K13, and it's been all downhill from there. VC inflation is a real thing. Every year, the price of VC increases, but the actual in-game value of VC decreases. Stat upgrades, clothing, and animations used to be cheap, but the price of the most basic stuff continues to climb. And it's insane if you actually think about it. Global inflation is through the roof. The value of a lot of countries' currency has decreased, but VC prices have increased. This means your dollar doesn't go as far simply because it's not worth as much in the real world, but also in 2K. Like I said earlier, the price of in-game items have increased, which devalues the VC. It amazes me how many people haven't caught on to this, especially since Take-Two Interactive, 2K's parent company, is raking in record profits year after year. We are currently dealing with a situation where the value of a real dollar is down and the value of VC is down, and on top of that, they're not even releasing a quality product. And don't get me started on their new terms of service they recently rolled out. They're really out here trying to take away our right to sue them if we feel like they're doing something unjust, which further reinforces their greedy ways. But see, the Helldivers situation shows us that we don't have to just bend over and take it. We have the power to force change just like they did. If we just come together as a community and make our voice voices loud and clear, 2K's gonna have to listen. The 2K community just needs to be organized, and the first plan of attack is to hurt their wallets. And look, I understand 2K is the only basketball game on the market. It's hard for some of you fiends to just stop buying it cold turkey, but the workaround is just stop buying excessive amounts of VC and they're gonna take notice. You don't need to make 10 builds every year. 1 or 2 is fine, and if the game isn't good, move on to something else. It's too many good games out here to be so close-minded.
Point taken.
But it ain't just about the money. If the game is in a bad state, we also have to be vocal about what we don't like and protest by not playing the game. We need to blow up their social media, flood their forums, and make it crystal clear that we're not happy with the state of the game. The combination of complaints, empty servers, and slow money is sure to make them sweat. Y'all just gotta understand that this type of stuff is gonna require strong leadership. As someone who plays all games, one thing I've noticed about the 2K community is their leaders refuse to lead. One of the reasons why Helldivers 2 got the mission accomplished is because not only was the community pissed, but the YouTubers and streamers who make Helldivers content were right there on the front lines with their community. Not only did they protest the game, but they used their platform to spread awareness. Now, some of that is present in the 2K community, but I also see a lot of opportunists. Some of your favorite creators will try to protest the game to bring change, but other creators will see that as an opportunity to fill a void and grow their platform by pushing out more 2K content. They get all excited about the lack of competition when instead everyone needs to be on the same page. It's time the community starts calling out people who don't stand for anything. I mean, look what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2. EA tried to pull some sneaky moves with their loot boxes and the community went apeshit. They got vocal, mainstream media got involved, and it forced everyone to pay attention to the problems with the game. And guess what? EA had to backpedal real quick and remove the pay-to-win elements from the game, and now the game is in a better state than ever. That's the power of a united community right there. When gamers come together and fight for what's right, even the biggest corporations have to sit up and take notice. Friendly reminder, we pay their bills. It's their job to provide a quality service. If you don't start acting like Karens, you're not gonna get Karen results. I need everyone to start shouting,
I want to speak to your manager!
We've got to make it clear that we're done being treated like walking ATMs. We're done with the constant pressure to spend real money just to stay competitive online. And we're sure as hell done with the disrespect and the lack of transparency from 2K. Stop letting Ronnie 2K and all his rapper friends hypnotize you from the truth. You gotta wake up and realize,
Iron sharpens iron, right?
if we stay united and keep the pressure on, they'll have no choice but to address our concerns. They'll have to start communicating with us better, fixing the broken parts of the game, and toning down on the microtransactions, just like Sony did with Helldivers and EA did with Battlefront. So come on, everybody, let's take a page out of the Helldivers playbook and start raising some hell. Let's come together as a community and show 2K that we mean business. Once again, you don't have to skip out on the game, but you do need to start asking yourself, do I really need to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars annually on this basketball game? Because I've seen some of y'all purchase histories on Twitter, and you've got some of your community leaders bragging about spending $10,000 or $20,000 a year on VC alone. You don't believe me? Just look at this.
How much? So 2K22, I added up all of my purchases and really only added up the $100 purchases.
So you didn't even go like the little baby one?
I didn't do the 20s, the 50s, none of that. And it came out to be like throughout the whole year, from the day the game dropped to the next game, I spent $25K.
I don't care if it's a tax write-off for some of you. You're ruining the game you claim to love, and I wish y'all would pay attention to this shit. It won't be easy, and it might take some time, but if we stay committed and keep the pressure on, we can force 2K's hand just like every other gaming community has done in the past. Voting with your wallet is about to be the key to all of this. And I know some of you watching this video feel like I'm just talking to a brick wall when it comes to these sports gamers, but I thought this Helldivers 2 situation was a great chance to remind people you have the power to make these corporations listen up and make changes. It's time for the 2K community to grow some balls and act like responsible adults. Every other community seems to be capable of being financially literate except for sports gamers. So hopefully I opened some of your eyes to what's going on in other communities. All I ask is that you sit on what I said. Ask yourself, do I really need to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars annually on this basketball game? And while you sit on that thought, allow me to put you onto another game, because honestly, I'm a solutions guy. If you're thinking about quitting the current 2K or skipping out on the next one, you're gonna need another multiplayer game to play. And one game that's been getting a lot of buzz is a new free-to-play team-based hero shooter called Marvel Rivals. Some are calling it the Overwatch killer. I did a video sharing my first impressions of the game, so if you're open to trying something new, click the card on the screen to keep watching more of me.